I mean, by BDs to show.
I get you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Imo CEOs. And today I have with me Mr. Chima Ikejiaku, CEO of Chima Trafford Limited. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
How is everything?
Well, good.
Glad to have you today.
Thank you, sir.
So, briefly, can you tell us about yourself, your journey, starting up, and all that? Let's get to know you.
Okay, well, my name is Chimaobi Ikejiaku Harrison, and that's the abbreviation of my name to Chima came from my grandma, who put my name. She kept calling me that, and the Chima now took over the full name.
Okay.
I'm from Imo State, East Alamba, not to be precise.
Okay.
And I schooled here in the Imo State University.
Okay.
I studied industrial chemistry before I ventured into real estate. I also worked with Coca-Cola as a contract staff with nursing engineering under Nigerian bottling company Coca-Cola for like 2 years before I resigned to pay adequate attention to my business.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So let me ask, are you married?
Yes.
Okay. And you stay in the town here?
Yes, I live here in Owerri.
Okay. Somebody said something about CEOs that do well. They said you never see a successful CEO that didn't either resign or get fired from their previous job before they started their own business. Is that true?
Yes, there is an element of truth in it. Reason being that when you are somewhere and you have a passion or an idea that you want to test and prove, you must have to leave that thing. Is it that you are going to leave it peacefully, that's by resigning, or you're not going to be paying attention to that job, then they have to fire you, so you focus on this one. So in other ways, there is an element of truth in it.
Oh, okay. That's so. So let me ask you, tell us more about your company, Chima Trafford. What do you guys do?
Okay, Chima Trafford Nigerian Limited is a real estate firm. We are based here in Owerri. We sell properties, we buy properties for people. We help individuals to make smart real estate investments. So just like I tell people who meet me or meet us for the first time, that we don't just sell land or we don't just sell properties. We help individuals to make safe, smart, and profitable real estate investments that will generate them consistent cash flow or income to fund their dream life, and also build wealth for the next generation. So it's all about real estate.
Okay, so your properties are here in Imo State?
In Imo State.
Okay. Outside Imo State, are you looking to expand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll do that with time.
Okay. So you're not just looking for, you don't just serve people that want to buy land, you also serve people that want to invest in land, and also people that want to get a land where they can build their own house.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. So why Imo State? Why did you choose Imo State to bring this business?
Well, first of all, I am from Imo State, and like they say, charity begins at home. I'm from Imo State. I did early part of my secondary school in Imo State before going to Lagos. I did my university in Imo State. I worked in Imo State, so I decided to start from here.
Okay.
At least this is where I have good background of the terrain of the city.
So how is business so far in Imo State?
Well, just like every other city, it's the same thing, hustling and bustling. You keep pushing, you keep getting disappointed. You still keep pushing until everything will put through.
Okay.
So
have you ever thought about leaving Imo State, that it's not working, let me leave?
No. I've only thought about expanding into other states. I've not even thought about living abroad, let alone living in Imo State.
Oh, wonderful.
So
we can see Imo State is a blessing to you.
Yes.
Or you and Imo State are a good mix together.
Imo State is a blessing. It's an oil well for us.
Correct.
Yes.
So how is the real estate business in Imo State, competition-wise?
Yes, it's the same thing. If you go to Lagos, Abuja, or Port Harcourt, it's the same thing, the same level of competition. You just have to know what you are doing and know how to get the people who need what you have to offer. That's all.
So has there been any time you've been involved in land issue disputes?
Yes. Sometime July last year, we had a land issue that warranted us to go to state CID. It wasn't directly from me, so have to air it.
But you handcuffed?
Yes, no. I helped a client through an agent, colleague of mine, to acquire a property at Okorata.
Okay.
So when the colleague told me that he helped his client to buy that property some years back, and the client wanted to resell. So in that case, that he did all the investigation and it was okay. So I now brought the client who bought, not knowing that the person that he bought from, he doesn't have the right to sell the property. So like a couple of months later, the original owner came out. We had an allocation paper from state government. The original owner also had an allocation paper from government. So all of us, we are gathered in state CID. Everybody started making statements. Everybody started calling who they know. Then after the investigation, they now got to know that we were not at fault.
Okay.
So the old person who sold to them came out. And So we're
Your
allowed
friend,
to go.
your colleague, was it involved in the?
Both of us were, because the guy
No, what I'm saying, was he involved in that
no,
illegality?
no,
Okay,
he
was not
bought
aware.
in error.
Okay.
And I bought from him in error.
Okay.
You know, one thing about error in property transaction is that when there is a mistake from the beginning, whomever buys after them will inherit that error.
No mistake. Okay.
Yes.
So in that case, what are the measures you take to avoid such?
Yeah, the measures we
happening
take
again?
now is whether it's my brother that is selling a property to me, whether it's my friend that is selling it, whether even my mother that is selling a property to me, I have to verify before we buy.
So how do you go about the verification process?
Yeah, there are different ways to verify different properties. Indigenous property verification is different from property that is registered in Ministry of Land. It's different from a property that has the CFO. It's different from a property that has a title deed, let's say deed of assignment, but not registered. So we have procedures how we follow the investigation based on what the property, the title behind the property.
Okay, I had a friend that once bought a land, and he later found out that the land was sold to him by the owner's cousin.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that same land was sold to 3 other people.
Okay.
So, you know, why they were trying to arrest the guy, get their money back, they couldn't get the money. But the guy doesn't have it, and I think he's a drug addict.
Okay.
Betting, he do this betting and all
Yes.
that, an addict. So in that kind of case, what do you advise people when they want to buy land, so they don't fall into this trap?
Yeah, I tell people when you want to buy a property, not just land, if you are not working with a real estate consultant, I mean someone who is an authority in real estate,
Okay.
get a real estate lawyer to conduct verification for you.
Okay.
And don't buy in a haste.
Okay.
Don't be in a haste, you know. And secondly, don't buy because the property is too cheap. That's where the problem comes. Maybe an area that is valued for like 20 million, somebody is giving you a property for 5 million or 10 million. You are considering the price because he says it's distress sale. No, such properties that their prices are too good to be true are the ones that lead people into trouble. So consult a real estate consultant, not just agents. No, there are agents in the street of Owerri, but they are real estate consultants, people who know what they are doing, that have integrity and have name to protect. Or you get a real estate lawyer. So because that is his job to do the verification.
When you talk about this, I know we have agents everywhere.
Yes.
So how do you verify an agent? How do you know which is legit, which is the street agents? You know what I mean? How do you verify the authentic agent and
just like in your field of business now, if I engage you in a conversation about media, you know there is a way you respond. There are things you will tell me about your job that will enable me to know that you have an authority, that you know what you're doing. So when you engage an agent and ask certain questions, you will know by the response from that person.
Okay.
What the person
What
says.
if I have no idea about real estate and I'm asking this person and he's telling me, trying to tell me things? What are the red flags? What red flag should I watch out for?
One of the red flags you watch out for, if the person cannot guide you to verify the property that he's selling to you or he's helping you to buy. Because it's either he's selling to you or he's helping you to buy. If he cannot verify it, then that doesn't mean he's a bad agent. It means that he's not schooled well in the business. You get someone else to do the verification for you while you still do the transaction with him.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. So let me ask you, what was your career aspiration when you were younger?
You know, when you're small, just like we look at our kids now, they want to be engineers, they want to be lawyers, they want to be doctors, but as from 2025, some of them will become DJs, some will become real estate agents. You know, that's normal. You know, at a point in my life while leaving secondary school, I wanted to become a pharmacist, not a medical doctor. But I have phobia for blood, so I cannot be a medical doctor for any reason whatsoever. Then I tried writing JAM, UNN and all that. It didn't work. Then I came to Imo State University. First of all, someone told me, or maybe the person lied to me, that Imo State University offer pharmacy. So by the time I came to Imo State University, they gave me nutrition and dietetics. So I wanted to reject it. So someone advised me, since you have gotten admission, do 1 year and transfer to another department. So I now check which of the department is closer to pharmacology or pharmacy. That's industrial chemistry. So after 100 level, I transferred to industrial chemistry. By the time I was done, I found out that I don't need industrial chemistry again. So after working for 2 years in Coca-Cola, I found out it's not the kind of life I wanted to live. In salary, have a family, manage life small, live below your means. That's not the kind of life I wanted. So I now ventured into business.
No, how did you transition into real estate?
Okay, I will say that I'm an opportunist. Reason being that I take opportunity anytime I see it. In 2013, a cousin of mine who stays in UK to date asked me to help him acquire property in Owerri, which I did. He has built in that land today. He's living there. So after that day, and I saw the money that came out, so I got to ask myself, you know, you don't take chances. This can be a business. So what do I do? And I start learning more. Start following people who know the business. Start studying more. And that's how 2017, and I registered a real estate company.
Okay, that's nice. So tell me, what makes Chima Trafford stand out from the other competition?
Well, we believe in integrity. You know, we believe in offering the highest quality of value that we can offer. So we don't believe in, you know, I know there's an element of compromise in business, but when that compromise has to do with compromising the standard of the business. When I was working in Coca-Cola, there's a guy in microbiology lab, his nickname is Standard. So when you do something, they say it's not according to standard. So it became his nickname. So if the compromise has to go against the standard, we will not be involved. There are a lot of businesses I've rejected because the people who wanted to do the business had other ulterior motive, and my company name is at stake. They are just agents. They can go home to their house and sleep. I have a place where they can find me. They don't have a place where they can find them. So I had to opt out in such transactions.
No more CID again for you.
No.
Okay, let me ask you, why should I choose you if I want to buy land or invest in land?
The reason you would choose me is because I don't just sell land to you. I help you to make real estate investment. The difference between just selling land to you and helping you make real estate investment. Reason that being that I will help you spot the best property or best real estate opportunities in Owerri with the highest value that will give you good return on investment. There was a client some time ago who needed a property in New Owerri, and I told him I will help him get the kind of property he was looking for. It was 33 million naira property around April. By January the next year, that property was valued at 75. It was in less than 6 months. Because I told you that the property I'm giving you in less than 6 months, you have 100% return on investment. And it's no joke. So because I stay here and I do my research well, and I know areas that have high rates of appreciation, because one of the ways which you make money from real estate is property appreciation. So I know the area that have high rate of appreciation. So I will help you invest in those locations and you make your money. So it's not just about selling to you.
Good. So tell me, what property do you have now that one can invest in? What property, where, which areas?
I have empty lands here in Ikenebu.
Okay.
I have a speedboat, which is the place everybody's tweeting towards now because of the light. I have a new Owerri too for luxury investors.
Okay.
And not so, doings get level.
Yeah,
so
for people.
Yes, for luxury investors, I have places in New Owerri. Okay. And for affordable upcoming real estate investors, places like Irete, places like Obako that are not very high in price, which are the next city that will experience in the city of Owerri. I have properties there also. So I have property for everybody according to their budget.
Okay, that's wonderful. Mr. Chima, let's say I have 5 million now to invest in land. Where would you advise me to invest in?
Irete. Yeah, that's the best. First of all, it depends on kind of investment you want to make. Maybe you want to buy property that you are not using in the next 3, 4, 5 years. I can ask you to go to places like Obak so you can buy multiple plots.
Okay.
But if you need a property you can use within 12 to 24 months, then Irete is okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. So do you have any advice for upcoming realtors, people that want to also go into the kind of business you're in? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, first of all, they need to be patient. You see, this thing called disappointment is synonymous with real estate. Somebody can call you now, my client in their property, and you already start calculating their commission. They will tell you, I will get back to you. That's the end. Yeah. They will never get back to you. So they need to learn to be patient. Okay. Disappointment is part of the business, and it's not spiritual. Reason being that when someone is asking you that I want to buy a property, at times the person is expecting money to come, maybe by the end of the month or so. Okay. And if the money doesn't come, it's automatic disappointment. It's not spiritual. Or somebody is telling you, okay, I want to buy property next week, and something happens in the family that require urgent attention. Yes. He will take money from there. He will not invest immediately. So it's part of it. Okay. You need to learn to be patient. And secondly, invest in knowledge.
Good.
Invest in knowledge. Travel out. Don't just stay here. I travel out. Go to Port Harcourt. I go to Enugu. Go to places to learn. Travel out. Submit under people to learn. This idea of and I'm a real estate, that kind of slang. You don't learn it. Who says so? You learn it because there are certain things, certain documents that we mentioned in a transaction, you'll be lost. Certain questions a client who is not a first-time investor will be asking you, you'll be lost. So invest in knowledge, buy books, attend seminars, go for workshop, go for training, spend money the way you spend money on clothes, spend money on knowledge.
Correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
now, let me digress a little. A friend of mine said his first attempt into real estate, you know, he left work, he was hustling for this particular property to sell it. So eventually, when he got time for the person to make payment, his buyer to make payment, before he knew what was happening, we had the lawyer brought other agents, about 20 agents. The buyer brought about 10 agents to share the money. But when they all started this thing, he was the only one
in the
middle.
picture. Okay.
But when he got time to pay, he now saw other agents involved. So this kind of situation, how do people tackle
Yes,
it?
you know, I was on Monday when I had the training with some realtors or real estate agents in my office. I was it was part of the thing I shared with them.
Okay.
That's where the knowledge comes in, and that's where transparency comes in. When you know what you are doing, you know how to handle every situation. I've also been faced with such situations too, but I've learned my lessons, and it doesn't happen again, and it will never happen again. So the reason being that if someone wants me to help him buy a property or help him get a property, we discuss some terms and conditions.
Okay.
I need to find out if he has somebody else he has told to help him acquire the property. And if he has brothers, what is their role in this business we want to do? So I want to know. If someone, maybe a colleague of mine said, I have a property to sell, I need to find out, have you discussed with the seller? Are there other people who have interest in the commission before we start marketing the property? If someone gives me a property to market, sometimes it will take 1 week for us to have terms and conditions streamlined. This is the commission you're bringing. Only this number of people will come from your family. Your lawyer will not be among this. If you have a lawyer who you called for investigation, pay him his legal services, not from my commission. We must discuss all this before we start. That's why I'm not in a haste. I'd rather not close the deal than to close the deal and I have 40 people as agents. And I will not go with the peanut. No, it's better I'm not involved. So I take my time to ask these questions. And once these terms and conditions are streamlined, if possible at times, we'll write it and sign.
Okay.
So I don't want to have misunderstanding.
When you go to banks at times,
Good.
You see people arguing. You don't know their real estate.
I was trying to talk to them. I said, have you come to bank and see some people with blue documents moving their shirt?
Yeah.
I said, have you ever seen me in bank arguing? I said, I don't. Good. I said, they can be in my office. I don't go to the bank and transfer the money and come back because we've already discussed it. Okay. This is how much I'm giving this party. This is how much I'm giving this party. No argument. Before we started, we discussed it.
Everything.
And it's better that way.
It's better that way. To avoid fight.
To save you headache.
Let me ask this.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a position where you had to top up the price of a property because you know the property is on okay, let's say the seller, the price the seller is calling is undervalued, you know, and you decided to just add something on top to...
Yes, it happens a couple of times, but the seller has to be aware.
Oh, okay.
You know, at times there's a way I do it so it will be transparent. Maybe you want me to sell a property for you. Let's say you say this property is valued for 10 million.
Okay.
And you are not going to pay 10% commission. That is normally what you're supposed to pay as seller. You say you're going to pay 5%. So how to do it this way? How about we'll give you a take home? That whatever that is added on top of it will be used to settle the agent. It's an agreement. Okay. It's transparent. Okay. The person says, okay, instead of me giving 10% from 10 million, let me take the 10 million as take home. So it's now my duty to go and work for 11 or to work for 12 million. So whatever that is added is no longer coming to you. You are getting your money 100% because we agreed on that. Are you getting it? Yes. Or in another situation where someone says, okay, this property is 10 million. I'm going to give only 5%, which is 500,000. That's okay. How about if you add something on top for you to be able to give 10%? So the person, okay, for me to be able to give 10%, if you sell it 11 or 11.5, I will give 10%.
Okay.
So, but then I have topped something, but it's to understanding of both of us.
Okay.
It's not that I just try to...
I get you. Okay, that's nice. Yes. But let me ask you, what about if you discuss with the seller,
okay,
and at the end of the day, you now sold the property maybe 2 times the property? Have you ever been in the situation whereby the buyer now says, that you sold it more than you need to give him
yes,
the full money?
I have heard people be in that position, but I've not. You know, I also said, that is, I've admitted they bought the property. The man agreed initially. Admitted they send the money to his account. He now said, no, he's not bringing out the money. The way I do it is this way. If we're giving you your take home as 1 naira, whatever that will be added on top will not be sent to your account. Okay. Agreed? Okay. You agree. So while making the payment, I'll tell the buyer, sending this amount of money to his account. This one to my company account as the marketer because we already agreed. Reason being that money is tempting. By the time money enters his account, he will not even know what that money, the that money could solve
for him.
Yes. So whether we'll do it this way, you take yours, we take ours, and everybody will be happy.
But in that case, sorry I'm moving this way, but in that case, the buyer, won't the buyer be suspicious that one amount of money is going here while another one?
No, he will not be suspicious because even his own 5% commission is also coming together with that money.
Okay.
And the seller is there. You know that the seller is represented by the seller is there. Say yes, approve.
Okay.
So you should know there is no foul play. Okay. So that's why I said you need to discuss it ahead of time.
Okay.
I have this, enabling ground and streamline it before. It is not something you do in the bank. If not, that will be quarrel.
No problem, Mr. Chima. Thank you very much for coming on the show today. Thank you. We've really learned a lot. Thank you very much.